Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, I want to talk about how women manipulate men. But understand, everybody uses manipulation. However, today we're focusing specifically on some of the tactics that women use, how to recognize them, and what you can do to avoid falling into these traps. So, if you're ready to up your game, hit the like button and let's get started. First off, let's define what manipulation is. Manipulation involves controlling or influencing someone to do something in a way that is not entirely transparent or honest. It's often subtle, and that's what makes it effective. When it comes to relationships, manipulation can happen when one person uses emotional or psychological tactics to get what they want, often at the expense of the other person's well-being. While manipulation can be harmful, it's important to understand that not every form of influence is negative. We all influence each other, but it's when this influence becomes controlling, deceptive, or harmful that it crosses the line into manipulation. Let's take a closer look at some of the manipulation tactics that women might use in relationships. First off, guilt tripping. This is when someone makes you feel guilty for not doing something they want. For example, a woman might say, "If you really loved me, you would ... This tactic leverages your emotions, especially your sense of duty or love or honor, to get you to do something that you might not otherwise agree to. And men have an excessive amount of honor. Women know this, and they play on it. Number two, playing the victim. In this scenario, the manipulator may exaggerate their own problems or misfortunes to gain sympathy and control. She might be constantly highlighting how much she's suffering, implying that it's your responsibility to fix things, even if it's not your fault. Number three, withholding affection. Withholding affection is a classic tactic. This could be emotional or physical. The idea here is to make you feel like you have to earn their love or attention by doing what they want. It creates an imbalance in the relationship where one partner feels constantly in the wrong. That's what they have to do in order to effectively utilize this particular tactic. So it's very damaging to be around a person like this. Number four, gaslighting. This is one of the more serious forms of manipulation. Gaslighting involves making someone question their reality. A woman might say things like, "You're imagining things," or "You're being too sensitive," to make you doubt your feelings or perceptions. Now, we as a nation are experiencing worldwide gaslighting. An entire half of our population is locked into a consumer gynocentric mindset. They're employing these tactics. The news media employs these tactics. Our leaders employ these tactics. The people running our governments and our institutions employ these tactics. Have you heard today? They just found out that 818,000 jobs that were reported to existed, no, the government made it up. Now they're going to say that, oh, it was a mistake. You don't make mistakes of 818,000. Moving on, over-compliment. This might seem counterintuitive, but excessive praise can be a form of manipulation. By showering you with compliments, she may be trying to get you to lower your guard, making it easier for her to get what she wants from you later on. Things like, "Wow, that's a really nice shirt." And the guy's like, "Oh, really? Thank you." Let's talk about why manipulation happens, because we're talking about people that are desperate. We're talking about people that actually don't view other human beings as actually human beings. They're just things for them to manipulate. So it's important to understand why a particular person feels the need to manipulate the people around them. Why can't they just be upfront and honest about what they want, what their standards are? Oh no, they're playing games. It's a narcissistic psychosis. One of the main reasons that women engage in manipulation is insecurity. They don't feel good about themselves. It stems from this basic belief that they're just getting by based on the grace of other people. This is a horrible feeling, and yet you see how it's a part of our consumer society. The manipulator might feel that they can't get what they want in a direct, honest way, so they have to resort to these types of tactics, right? Like a person wants to be a leader, but they have no real qualifications to be a leader. So they trash the other people. They badmouth the other people. They start emotional tirades about meaningless situations. They make mountains out of molehills. When you see these tactics Go your own way. And I should point out that this stuff even comes from other men. It's a blue pill world out there. So it's not just a bunch of women out there with problems that are trying to get their way in the world. It's all the men who want to keep them happy as well. Watch out, they'll take you down and they'll delight in it the same way a group of women. Number 2, power and control. Some people manipulate because they want to maintain power and control in a relationship. They might feel that by keeping you off balance, they can prevent you from gaining the upper hand. I'm sure you've experienced this, but what happens when it's your own government that's doing it to you? Do you really think that these leaders of ours are natural born leaders, have developed the powers of leadership, are really looking to help the people? Of course not. This is an ego game that they're playing with themselves and with you. And our world is in the bounce. They just want to stay in power. They just want to have control. They can't do anything positive with the power, but they can damn well stop you and they can damn well stop me. This is the danger of being a strong, effective, honest, direct man who speaks his mind. It's going to make a great many people uncomfortable. It's a threat to their power. And when that happens, they will unleash every dirty tactic in the book that they can come up with to bring you down. Moving on. Number 3, it's just learned behavior. If they grew up with someone in an environment where manipulation was the norm, they might use these tactics without ever realizing. We don't know what we don't know. Whatever way that we are brought up, whatever environment that we are brought up in, we will think that that's a normal environment, that that's the way it is everywhere. No, this goes even deep. So probably the majority of our population thinks that they were brought up in a loving family, supportive. They did the best they could. That's what they'll tell you. But that's not really the case. Most of us grew up in a survival environment where we were dealing with dark personalities that were in emotional turmoil, driven by their insecurities, driven by urges that they don't even understand. And if you grew up in that, you think, or any person thinks, that's perfectly normal. So they perpetuate this behavior. It becomes normalized. And we don't even know that we're doing it. We don't even know what we've missed. The love, the support, the respect, the lifting up, the empowering of the people that we care about. No, we think it's normal to just rip them to pieces, to find every last little fault with it, and then announce it as if we've got some great insight. You know, it's really easy to walk into a situation where 100 things are going right, moving in the right direction, and find the one thing that's wrong with it. That's not a systems analyst. Anybody can do that. What you're looking for are the people who can walk into a situation, see what's going right, see what's going wrong, support what's going right, and then work on, repair, and deal with what's going wrong. Do you understand why I'm talking to you now? Moving on. Recognizing manipulation is going to be your first step in dealing with it. Here's some tips on how to spot these behaviors and how to respond. Number 1, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Trust your instincts and take a step back to evaluate the situation. Do not respond emotionally. That's what the manipulator wants you to do. This is the trap of a consumer society, to keep its citizens trapped in their unthinking emotional responses. You know, if a man is getting all excited and worked up and screaming and yelling and cursing, do you think that another man is impressed with that? Like, wow, this is a really powerful man. No, just the opposite. So when the woman is creating all these histrionics and becoming all emotional and using all of these tactics, understand it's being driven by their insecurity. And if you respond to it on the level that it's being offered to you, you're already in the muck and you won't win that game. If you're a normal, healthy person and you're being manipulated by a narcissist or by a very weak person trying to dominate and control the situation, you don't have any experience in that, or you have very little experience in that. They're experts. So trust your gut. Number 2, set your boundaries. Know what your boundaries are. Don't be afraid to let people know what they are. Let the people know what behavior is acceptable to you and what isn't. Sometimes we're not in a position to set boundaries, to set our values. We can internally have, and we can say, oh, I don't think this is right. How dare they? But there's nothing you can do about it. Let's say somebody is slandering you in public. Let's say somebody is telling dirty lies about you to the higher ups. Well, that isn't right. You wouldn't do that. You've got standards. You've got boundaries. You've got values. They don't. How can you force them to adopt your values? You can't. It's not about forcing people. It should be about helping. 3, communicate openly. Don't play this game of all these dirty innuendos, backbiting, gossip. Address the issues directly. Use I statements. I feel uncomfortable when, to express how the behavior affects you. I feel uncomfortable when people treat me unfairly and unjustly. I feel uncomfortable when people judge me without knowing all of the facts. These are just some examples. Number 4, seek some support. If you find yourself in a manipulative relationship, seek support from friends, family, or even a professional, because it'll wear you down. Let's say you're in a situation with a narcissist who's using these tactics on you. It could be at home, it could be at work, it could be in a social setting. How are you going to walk away? It's where you live. It's your home. How are you going to walk away? It's your job. It's how you support yourself and supply the basic necessities of your life. It's your brother. It's your sister. It's your mother. It's your father. It's your child. It's your parent. How can you walk away? Where are you going to go? This is where it's important to have people to talk to. At the very least, where you can express yourself honestly and openly. Gain the insight as to what's going on so that you can deal with it appropriately. Manipulation in relationships can be damaging, but the good news is that awareness and communication, you can protect yourself and maintain healthier connections. Remember, the goal of any relationship should be mutual respect and understanding, not control or power. If your boss isn't helping you do your job and get better at your job, he's not a boss. People don't leave jobs. They leave bad managers. I don't know the details of the situation that many of you are going through right now, but I know what it is overall. I've been through it. Become a student of human nature. Do not respond emotionally to this bullshit. When you see it, take a step back and look at it like you're examining an insect. Don't take it personal. Somebody calls you a name, somebody tells a lie about you. Before you get upset, take that step back, look at it, ask yourself, why did they do that? Was it justified? Did they feel threatened? How did they feel threatened? Is this just their learned behavior? Is this just the way they were brought up? This isn't always about power and control. This isn't always about domination. This isn't always about being on top and destroying your competitors. It can be about mutual respect, leadership, honor, and expressing and finding your authentic self. That's worth your time. That's worth your efforts. That will lead you to find the unique gifts that only you have that you can then bring to the world and share and make a positive difference with. If you want to, please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.